Mr. Cyril Ryan Lituanias will now introduce the graduate who will give a response.
Franchette Romjin Kim Miller is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Applied Corporate Management, Summa Cum Laude. She is also a recipient of the Student Leadership Award and Jose Rizal Honors Award. As the youngest president of the De La Salle Model United Nations community, she directed events that advocated for various student sectors of our school, from scholars, athletes, to LGBTQ+. At the same time, she was also the executive vice president for externals in the Lasallian chapter of Student Catholic Action, where they championed faith-based lifestyles, social justice programs that taught their members how to inculcate the Catholic social teachings through fundraisings, Bible reflections, and interfaith approaches from other religions like Islam and Buddhism. Romjin also pioneered the ASEAN Youth Career Summit that was geared towards preparing Gen Z among Southeast Asian nations in understanding employment trends and staying informed about career opportunities. The event hosted workshops and panel discussions about industrial and global affairs and talks from our very own Brother President Bernard Oca, His Highness Tunku Abidin of Indonesia, and His Excellency Phoak of the ASEAN. In line with her background as a Ramon V del Rosario College of Business major, Romjin won several awards in international case competitions like the 3M Inspire Challenge, Nazareth University's Global Case Competition in New York, and the East Asia Pacific Crisis Competition in Hong Kong. She also co-founded Taft Initiative, which is an effort to uplift the socio-economic conditions of Taft Avenue restaurants during the onset of the pandemic by providing free marketing services and helping them transition to e-commerce selling. Romjin strives to emulate in a simple yet meaningful way the compassion of our founder, Saint La Salle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your graduate response speaker, Franchette Romjin Kim T. Miller.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cyril Lituanias, for the gracious introduction. I'm also grateful to the University Honors and Awards Council for giving me the privilege to deliver the graduate response on this significant occasion. University President, Brother Bernard Oca, FSC, Provost and Vice President for Academics, Dr. Robert Toledo, distinguished commencement speaker, Dr. Jose Maria Panco, the La Salle brothers, esteemed administrators, faculty and staff, guests, dearest parents, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Fellow graduates of Batch 2024, congratulations. I am delighted to march with this youth who spent half of its college life online and in person. We received the best of both worlds of Lasallian education. To be known as hybrid learners, similar to hybrid cars, we are powered by our own energy sources, the support systems starting at home and school. Big thanks to our university's professors and advanced learning management system. We thrived. We braved mass gatherings as we safely wore masks to campus. Together, we navigated what leadership scholars call a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous or VUCA world. The Lord brought us here in PICC for our graduation. It is like ways reminding us, you have reached your destination. Now, we celebrate our achievements for God and country, but also welcome opportunities to improve. Moving towards our careers, never shall we fail to devote our Lasallian love for lifelong learning. There is strength in being teachable, curious, and open to change and criticism. As Gen Zs, we have the ability to adapt to personal and professional situations to test our creativity. I term this as the challenge to create. We are blessed to be in a progressive era that encourages us to be creatives, no matter what degrees we hold and jobs we take. With the advent of content creation, short-form media entertainment is a pastime for us Filipinos. Some of us make vlogs. Our university is thoughtful with the selfie stands around the campus so we can channel our inner content creators. We have the power to create, co-create, and become stewards of creation. May we show the same excitement from accepting TikTok challenges to facing the Lasallian challenge to create value. The hobbies that we had during the health crisis can be the passion that we can combine with our next profession. Let me echo inspiring words from the first Filipino Golden Globe nominee, Dolly De Leon. And I quote, "Gawa lang ng gawa. Huwag matakot at magpakalunod sa sistema. Explore at maghanap ng paraan na magkwento." We are natural storytellers and bearers of shared human experiences. What makes a difference is our willingness to incite, ideate, and innovate. For example, our hero, Dr. Rosario Rizal, was a brilliant ophthalmologist and still found time to fight for our rights during the colonial period through his novels that are still of national significance. Our founder, Saint La Salle, was a young priest and big brother who raised his siblings. Then, he responded to his calling by building the Institute of the Brothers of the Christian Schools to train struggling teachers and teach poor youths in France. Rizal and La Salle were our pioneering creators in Reformation. This leads me to ask the burning question: what is the change that you seek when you take the chance to create? Let us strive to be close to at least half of who Rizal and La Salle were when we serve the least, the last, and lost. In my freshman year, I co-founded a mini social enterprise that assisted Taft's beloved restaurants to shift from physical to online operations in order to combat economic losses and restricted mobility due to the quarantine. Knowing how smart and talented you are, dear batchmates, perhaps you also have your own passion projects and missions. If you are still in the planning stage, please, 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 do not forget that I believe in you. Just ensure to be guided by these prompts. What are the issues of our globe and nation? How can you create studies, products, services, inventions, policies that solve those issues? When I was a sophomore, I became our Model United Nations Organization's youngest president. With a vision for diversity and inclusion, we launched advocacy-driven events for Women's Month, Election Month, Pride Month, for student sectors. I request you to reflect on this question. Who will benefit from what you created? My friends, do not hesitate when we graduate. Look forward to create. Let us take up the Lasallian challenge to co-create. Our capacity to participate in collaborative relationships is important to flourish. This entails our gratitude to the blessings poured into our work and humility in handling feedback to enhance it. On the other hand, we shall behave with honesty in objectively evaluating the works of others and also support their outputs with generosity. We ally with people from different backgrounds, beliefs, cultures. Grace Veracruz, head of Grab Philippines, once said, and I quote, "Lift as you rise. We have been given big breaks by leaders before us, so we should also give someone the opportunity," end quote. Our role models, La Salle and Rizal, had sponsors who lifted them. La Salle came from a clan that continues to be a global champagne producer. Rizal's landowner family in Laguna belonged to the Principalia. But what made them noble is the fact that they checked their privilege and selflessly paid it forward to uplift people. We do likewise as Lasallians, despite our identity being associated with prestige and the term konyo. How are we happily providing resources to spread the word that service and scholarship are the backbone of our institution? We learn to be like La Salle, who opened the doors of his home to the teachers that he trained and raised capital from his network of donors. We try to be like Rizal, who fearlessly joined the propaganda movements with his fellow ilustrados, Luna and Highness. They wrote articles that advocated for Filipino representation and freedom of speech that Spain deprived us of. Like these writers, I began contributing to the Manila Times, thanks to a professor who had faith in me. This is a platform to amplify the voices of those affected by problems like labor and inequality. In a fundraiser attempt, my org mates and I connected with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to aid families in the Caraga region who were forcibly displaced by Typhoon Odette. Our Lasallian community's emergency response funded relief items. Indeed, we are agents of shared prosperity and compassionate leaders in the making. As students, we are also co-creators with artificial intelligence, or AI. This was a game changer for academics. When I encountered ChatGPT, Quillbot, and Google Gemini, I was impressed with how they can code, write essays, and make charts. But we are not called to depend on AI for our requirements, but to confront it with integrity by strategically prompting it to assist us. This is about our responsibility in managing the boundaries between creating original work and partnering with AI to optimize work. How should we view the interaction of human and AI creations? Is it a threat or convenience? It depends on how we balance so we can achieve integral human development. We must also embrace the tough challenge to be a steward of creation. Recall our lessons about our human role as caretakers of the planet, the habitat that God the Creator entrusted to us. We remember Laudato Si as the encyclical by Pope Francis. He invites us to be conscious of our behaviors that determine the effects of climate change. We must dedicate ourselves to the fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals to protect Mother Earth and biodiversity from pollution, rising global temperatures, and droughts. Here in LaSalle, we take pride in the color green. We look after our campus cats, the DLSU Pusa, botanical gardens, zero waste, recycling, and conservation. But how can we be consistent? In a simple but meaningful way, my mentor and I organize Net Zero Carbon Events Philippines. We assembled local players of the events industry to transition from a plastic and carbon-based business model to a waste-free one. Through this function, event organizers and suppliers listen to resource speakers who advise them in using eco-friendly materials on decor and cutlery. Let me persuade you to champion efforts in line with what the former Environment Secretary, the late Gina Lopez, told us, and I quote, "We need a paradigm with fierce loyalty to our motherland, forests, seas, rivers, people," end quote. Fellow graduates, may you always remember our word of the day: create. Moreover, may we endure the challenge that comes with it. I therefore conclude that the challenge to create brings out the best in us as hybrid students. Regardless of the mode, online or offline, With people, nature, or AI, we should aspire to be more human. We maintain our mindset as Lasallian lifelong learners, leaders, and lifters of the common good. We are recipients of world-class and quality education that has been equipping us with faith, zeal for service, and communion for a century and counting. I am certain that your younger selves in the past are proud of how far you have come. Future versions of you will thank you for growing into well-rounded human beings. As we live in the present, may we keep the faith in God and neighbor. Be brave as you soar high. I pray for your spirit to fight. Animo La Salle. To God be the glory.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.